And welcome back, or should I just say welcome, everyone. Guys, gals, non-binary pals, all our good friends here for joining us for Halcyon Days, episode 7, uh, attempt number 2. So this is, of course, the fourth session, first part of that fourth session for our ongoing campaign. But before we go over all that stuff and what that entails in this Enter the Empire system, let's first introduce our players, starting with Alex.
Hello, I am Alex. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character at most cast for. He is a Caloran bounty hunter gadgeteer who is basically a consummate professional. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is a Caloran? A Caloran is a green alien with no nose and black markings that has kind of like a big, like fleshy thing around their neck, almost like a life preserver. Also, occasionally they have fins and or antennae, but that's uh that's it for me. I think I've finally got my intro down.
Awesome. And briefly, as this is the beginning of a new session, all the players got a little bit of experience to make themselves better. Did you do anything? Did Atmos gain any cool new stuff for
I
getting more
did.
experience?
We gained 15 experience points last time, and I used that to up my mechanics skill from 1 to 2. So now I've got 2 yellows in mechanics. As well as I took a rank in brawl because I figured if I'm going to be disarmed again, I probably want some ranks in that.
Awesome. Next up, we have our tech wizard, Wade.
All right. Wait, let me find out different. All right. Sorry about that. All right. I'm Wade. I'll be playing Bishop, who is the Gank assassin. He looks a lot like Beastman from He-Man. We share, that might be a really dated reference. Sorry. We share he, him pronouns.
Think you cut out, Wade? No.
All right. Well, how did I cut out? Let's see.
Oh, you're back now.
Mm-hmm.
Technical difficulties are the best part of any stream.
Never a dull moment here on Tabletop Galaxy.
No,
Always
never.
keeping ourselves and you, the lovely audience, on our respective toes.
Oh, sorry. Am I still in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
you cut out on you and he both share.
Oh, yeah. We both share he, him pronouns. And during the most recent experience gain, went ahead and bumped up his melee again and some of his brawl.
All right. And next up, Jay, tell us about yourself and your character.
I'm Jay. I go by he, him pronouns, as well as my character, Vans. Vans is a blue Rhodian gunslinger who is particularly fond of his X-30 blaster named Jexica. He recently added 15 experience points to his ranged light to become the best shot around.
Best shot around indeed. And last but never least, Io.
I'm Eo. I use they, them pronouns, and my character Zale uses they, them, and she, her pronouns. Zale is a Twi'lek charmer slash force sensitive emergent, and Twi'lek means that she's got those Leku, and I lost my train of thought.
And you got 15 experience.
Oh,
I
yes, that's
think
what
you
I was
got
saying.
something very exciting.
Oh, yes, because I saved up the 10 from last session, too. So I had 25 to spend, and I spent it all. I spent 20 of it upgrading my influence force power, taking one small 5 XP upgrade that basically just lets me use the basic power on more people at once, But I also got something very important that lets me roll a force die when I use my social skills and potentially add the pips rolled on it as success or advantage.
All right.
Oh, and I also got a rank in leadership.
Amazing. So, those are our wonderful players for the evening. I myself am Robert the GM at Robbie Rolling on Twitter. I'll be the GM. I use he, him pronouns. I'll be the GM slash Space Master. And before we get into where we last left our players, we have a few things to handle here as part of the Enter the Empire system, which I personally, it's one of my favorite parts of our little game every week. So, I've gotten rid of all of the Destiny points as we're all now going to roll our Destiny pool. For those who are
Yay.
unaware, I'm going to vamp slightly by telling you that Destiny points are a little pool that represent kind of the forces of the light and dark side, or just sometimes pure luck working for and against the players. And players are now each going to roll a force die. And if they roll the nice little white symbols, they're going to get points for themselves. If they're going to get the dark side black symbols, they're going to give points to me. And whenever we spend our respective sides, it's going to shoot right back over to the other side. So when the players use a destiny point to do something cool, I get a point to do something cool later. So let's roll some destiny.
Alrighty. That is a dark side pip from me.
Okay, dark side pip from Bishop.
Yes.
That is 2 dark side points from me.
And Vans is pulling it up for 2 light side.
All
Whew.
right. So hopefully an indication of good things to come for Vans here
Oh,
after last session's double obligation penalty. What's obligation? Well, thanks. I'm glad you asked, audience. So that perfect transition was to talk to you all about obligation. So each of these characters, each of these players, when they made their characters, they had to take some obligation, represent the fact that they're not just taking it easy. There is something or someone that is wrong. They might be indebted to the wrong person. They might be hunted by someone. They might have an addiction of some kind. There are a multitude of different obligations, and if you want to know more about that, our session 0, we go over all the players' obligations. But the main salient point is that now I have a little chart and kind of building up all of each player's obligation, currently going from 1 to 80 because the players have plenty of obligation, and I'm going to roll D100. If I roll a 1 through 80, bad stuff happens. So without further ado, that's a 50.
Really?
Now I'm just going to go find my...
Oh,
Really?
no.
let me
Oh,
make
not
sure that's
again.
exactly what I think it is.
Oh, you know what that is. You know
I
At least
exactly
it's
what that
not
is.
doubles. It's not doubles this time.
I don't want
Yeah.
to assume anything, Jay.
Really?
So that is not, in fact, that is Vance, our good friend. However, it is your notoriety obligation. So, Vance, your strain threshold
Oh.
goes down by 2, and everyone else's strain threshold goes down by 1. Now, before we jump in, we have why don't you explain real quick about your notoriety obligation for those who may have missed previous episodes, session 0.
So Van's originally's notoriety was that he is the son of a famed pirate and smuggler. But the interesting thing about his fame is that he used the firearm Jexica to obtain the ship that we are currently flying, Halcyon Days. He won it in a shooting contest. So the notoriety is with kind of being, he made some large bets and basically gambled. This person from the Black Sun gambled his ship away, and Vans won it, which seems to be so perfect for this stage.
We'll have to just see, but I think so too. So, with that, we are going to run into a quick recap of last session. So, the party, having recently agreed under a decent amount of duress to a job from a seemingly fairly high up operative of the Vanderajar Hut clan, a cousin of Zale, part of the Meshta clan, to investigate potential Black Sun sabotage on Hut pilots and or ships, as there had apparently been a significant, or more significant than they wish, amount of failed hyperspace jumps towards the area of Nar Shaddaa, the kind of pretty much one of the main hub worlds of the Hutt Empire. The capital of it, pretty much. Nal Hutta and Nal Shaddaa. And so they were sent to the Quen space station, a massive city scale space station on the edge of Hutt space, where there's kind of these three separate levels. The first level being this beautiful, gleaming casino entertainment district with rich people from all across the galaxy spending their hard earned credits. And then a kind of docking area. And then below that, a capital shipyard where entire Star Destroyers can dock to be repaired and worked on. The party came in, briefly ran into a hut. Sea Rock made a friend on the ship, which led them to meeting a cantina owner, Sluicy, which is a kind of snake person named Nast. They then were able to, through Nest and their friend made on that Sea Rock cruiser, obtain disguises, really, to get into the Royal K Casino, the top head casino that they heard that a certain Nautilin and Deshad, by the name of Drilzad and Paxos, respectively, the kind of head, or at least the people they'd want to talk to about the Black Sun operations on Quen, spend the most of their time. They were able to, after meeting a fellow bounty hunter by the name of Krita in the lower part of the casino, able to become VIPs as their badges kind of automatically changed and interact with Drilzad, who Vans very quickly recognized as the killer of their mother, and as they had one of her twin blasters on her hip, and had a very tense, very almost deadly social encounter, which kept Vans on the verge of just shooting everything at all points in time. Except he didn't have Jessica.
Didn't have a gun. He
Yeah,
didn't have a gun.
That was one main obstacle there. And then the party left the casino, swearing revenge and preparing plans. Now, you all have learned of a few different organizations, so obviously you know that the Hutts are fairly large presence on the Quen, and you have Jadar, the pilot you met from the Sea Rock, and Nast, the Sluicy cantina owner. You also know of Krita, the Shitavanen, I think. Shistavanen. Cool. I always, whenever I type Star Wars species, I always miss one letter that is really integral.
Mm-hmm.
You also are aware of, but have not met people from the Vornskir, which is kind of a street thug, rough and tumble organization in the second level of the station, and the Steady Drips, which are more smugglers. So, you four are sitting on the Halcyon Days. Go ahead. Take it away.
Vans has changed back, and Jessica is on his hip. He threw out the badge and the garbage, and the clothes kind of stuffed away, so doesn't want anything to do with it. Just sitting there, drinking, relaxing, plotting.
Now,
Pity we don't have all that much to prove it's the Black Sun yet. Would certainly rile up the smugglers if they knew the cause of their hyperspace trouble.
that is true. Now, in order to actually find out who is responsible, I do believe kidnapping Drilzad is our best approach.
do we know? Can we find out who his major competition is? Who wants to take over and see Druzad gone?
I
From the
was
Black
working
Sun.
way ahead of you.
From the Black Sun.
Oh,
From the Black Sun. Now
From the Black
that's
Sun.
I unfortunately have not been able to track down. However, I do know that the primary opposition to the Black Sun on this particular station is the Huts. Luckily, we have plenty of contacts in the Huts.
Sale, if we help the Huts take back this situation, do you think we would gain some favor with them? Would you gain some
maybe.
favor with them?
It's possible. I'm going to slip out of character for a moment here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I got the impression that the Huts weren't openly running any of the casinos.
I will say that there are some they're not openly running, and there's probably some, like not a ton, but there's probably a few
Okay,
that they're
fair.
openly running here. I mean, this is hut space. Like you're on the
Yeah.
edge of, but this is hut space. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Black Sun is not openly running the Royal K. It's fairly common knowledge, but I mean, the Black Sun wouldn't dare openly run a casino in, right here in hut space. So,
I think it would depend on how exactly we accomplished it. They wouldn't want collateral damage that might damage the profits from the station in general.
Well,
But if we manage to keep it from splashing back on them, I think they'd be happy.
I concur. I have a couple of ideas. First of all,
Oh, go ahead.
I believe that Zale, if you go to the Steady Drips and
Mhm.
convince them that Drillzad does know about what's been going on to their ships, I'm sure they will cooperate and assist us in this particular endeavor.
All right. Frame the guilty party, so to speak.
Precisely. I
I
also
can do that.
believe if Bishop joins me in speaking to the Vornskiers, I think we could also employ their help for a bit of muscle.
You just tell me where to go.
I have an idea or two. You may not like it.
Why is that?
They, I'm going to be placing a few bets. On you, in fact. The Vornskiers run fighting pits, you see. I believe if I put you up against one of their best men, and with the particular, what's the word I'm looking for? Have you fight against their best men and have them say that if we win, they'll assist us. Then I'm sure we can get assistance.
So what am I not gonna like?
I figured you wouldn't enjoy being a gladiator for the night.
I think one protocol we need to go from now on is no one goes alone. Because did anyone else notice the cameras watching us as we left?
Yes, definitely.
We're being watched. So anything
Mhm.
we're doing, I have no doubt that they're going to be tracking us and figuring out what we're going to do. So we need to be stealthy and no one going out by themselves so that they can't take us out.
Right, Vans, you're with me then.
Also, if we could manage to convince the people who actually run the day-to-day on this particular station that the casinos are not in the best interest, we could get a hand distraction that way.
Now that's a thought.
I'll leave that to you, Zale.
How, I think we all should
Station.
go to the pit because I think, Zale, you can influence a few people there and then head up to after that, we go to your suggestion there together. Because, like I said, we want to, more together, we're stronger. I don't like the idea of splitting up.
I agree, however, I do feel that every second we spend on this station is another second that Drilzad catches on to what we are doing.
Do we need to leave and come back?
I don't
I don't
think we
that
should.
we
Okay.
can come back unnoticed.
Good point. Rob, what is the security systems currently on the Halcyon Days? Can it be locked down with a high security and notification if something tries to break in? Or is it pretty not any basic?
Oh, no. We've established very thoroughly that this is a very fancy ship. So I don't think like the locks are necessarily that hard to break, but you can definitely set up so that it will ping you. And if you want, you could even have it ping the station.
Okay. What about if someone attaches anything to the ship?
I don't think it's
It's not
that's
that
pretty
sensitive?
fancy.
Okay.
Yeah, because
right.
also then it would have because you did get a tracking beacon placed on you guys before that you didn't notice. So,
Okay. Fair enough.
or
So,
no, that
all
was
right.
sorry, that was on the skiff. Never mind.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
that was
was
on the skiff.
misremembering. But yeah, no, I don't think that's maybe a little fancy. That's something you
Okay.
probably have to buy an upgrade
Like,
for. But definitely, if somebody breaks in or even just enters in without like the proper passcode, it'll ping
okay.
you. For
And I
sure.
will set those security measures up that it will be both us and the space and the station that
Sounds good.
there's currently a break-in, and then I will have the mouses busy so that
Mhm.
if there's someone does, they will be bothersome.
Sounds good. And not just a quick clarification, just for the viewers at home and make sure we all on the same page. The station is basically run by a corporation that's independent of the huts. And for those listening audio only, I did air quotes because it's, they pay their dues to the huts and the huts have final say. But, for legal purposes and I'm sure tax purpose and blah blah blah, it's not it like the corporation is associated with the huts, but like going to the corporation and going to the huts are two different entities, basically.
I don't know who here has ever seen Vegas. It's a very good movie, but basically they have a guy who's working food and drink, but in reality he runs the casino.
So yes, so the whole party is going to the Vorn skiers kind of clubhouse den.
Are we?
That's what I gathered. Or are we splitting up? One
I
with
wasn't sure.
Vans and Zale going to the Steady Drips and Atmos and Bishop going to the Vorn skier. Y'all tell me.
Vans would like to stick together and go to the pit.
All right.
All right.
All
If
right then.
Vans is going to insist on that, then Atmos isn't going to argue.
Yeah. So y'all did some digging and basically rolled well enough, and I'm nice enough that you basically have gotten an in. That hasn't there. That's all they're really able to give you. But basically, you have gotten in. So you get led
Atmos.
down.
Yes, Sale.
The steady drips and the foreign scares. Did you figure out how they feel about each other?
Did I?
Vaguely, you know that they don't really compete because they're different sectors. I don't think you really know their exact relations.
I know at the very least they don't compete.
Different tools for different jobs.
Excellent. don't want to go stumbling into an illogical gang rivalry.
Of course.
So you all get kind of led down by this contact, and basically there is an old kind of silo for what was used for like fuel and parts that just got abandoned for whatever reason a while ago, and basically there's just a giant cage built over it now, and there's
Mhm.
just this CD club that is kind of like in this. It's basically like a repurposed warehouse with this massive silo in the middle, and so there's just just like whatever the Star Wars equivalent of EDM playing, and there's just people like muscling around. There's like a massive kind of like station where you see a human is like taking bets, and there's like this huge board of like fights and odds like constantly moving about, and there's just like drink and spice everywhere. Like this is one of the most explicitly criminal places most of you've ever seen.
Mhm.
So yes, and so you see there's a few sections that seem to be more VIP with like a couple guards like stationed there, but then there's also the station where people are placing bets, and that also seems to be
Mhm.
kind of an organizer. So whatever y'all wish to do, you're in the Vornskier's hideout.
Atmos is going to first he's gonna go get a drink and actually observe the fights before he decides to go and find the head of the Vornskiers and make this particular bet.
Okay. So Atmos is observing the fights. What's everyone else doing?
Vans is looking around and trying to spot any interesting characters from different organizations and trying to get the lay of the land of betting. Like who's so
Sounds
If
good.
Atmos intends to make the bet, I suspect he does. I'll probably want to be around for that, but before that, I'm going to, while he's watching a fight and getting the sense of things, I'm going to find people who look like they are here from out of town
Sounds good. And
and
Bishop?
commiserate with them a bit over the rough flight in.
Okay. Love it. And Bishop.
I think Bishop would be kind of around the pit, just kind of watching the other fighters.
Sounds good. So you and Atmos are observing. So you two observing the fights. There's no rules. There's no regulation. At one point, there's like two humans in the pit, and one of they're like fist fighting, and then one of them just pulls out a blaster and shoots the other one, and people kind of like cheer louder for that. There doesn't appear to be any real regulation. So they like pull out a blaster and fire, and then like some kind of Star Wars beastie gets let out on this guy and just like tears him apart in a like it's madness, right? There doesn't appear to be really any rules or anybody regulating. What I will yes.
Less Thunderdome, more Gladiator.
Yeah, so what I will say, why don't you two like together make a perception test?
All
See
right.
what if anything else you can
So
glean.
this will be an assisted check, you think?
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking.
Which
So like
two of us together?
the two right now I'm talking to is Atmos and Bishop. So they're
Okay.
kind of looking at the
Okay.
fighting pit and all that.
Right.
So
All right. I've got a rank and 2 cunning. What do you got?
As far as perception,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, I've got 1 and 1.
Okay.
All right.
One
So
yellow, 1 green.
So whoever
Atmos,
does this,
you'll
I might
be
as well do
rolling
this, and I'll
yours, and
get
you'll get
a
a boost
blue
from your
dice.
friend. I'm just gonna say just a 2 difficulty check.
All right. Is the
Whenever
full
you're
set?
ready.
Alrighty. All
All
right.
right.
That is 2 successes and 2 threats.
Yeah, so successes, I will say, so you do catch like right, this guy pulls out the blaster and fires and like just blasts the guy onto their back. And then I'll say a Vornskir. They found a Vornskir, which is like this massive like cat-like creature that gets let out. You track at one of the VIP tables, which has slightly more people guarding it. You do see the person that seems to have given that order seems to be a Duros, a green Duros, in kind of like a very, it looks like a corporate uniform that has like long since been repurposed into like a pseudo kind of like suit slash practical armor. Like it's like a former corporate uniform that has now like, you know, padded armor and like sections onto it bolted on, and they
Mhm.
have like a kind of gaggle around them. So that appears to be at the very least the person kind of calling the shots on the fight. For the threat, I think I'm just gonna give each of you a strain for now, as you're just kind of constantly thinking about who might be watching and moving, as there's a lot of people like just moving about and watching everyone going on. Like there's nowhere to really hide in the shadows here.
A strain each.
Yeah. So
Okay.
both Bishop and
Oh, did our strain reset from last session? Have we rested
yes.
enough? Okay, let me
Yeah, I'll say
bump
so.
that back down. Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Then we'll go over to Vans. So you're looking around trying to find kind of the lay of the land, basically, right?
Mhm.
So
Who's the head honchos? What type of factions? Who's the big money people? That type of stuff.
yeah. So were you thinking a perception test, or is there another skill you think
I think
better represents
perception.
it?
Yeah, I was thinking perception.
Yeah, sounds good. So I'm gonna say this is going to be again 2 difficulty. I'll use a dark side point though, just to make your life a little harder, because we did roll your obligations. So
Yes. Additionally, he's going to be looking at the location's hard points. Like, for example, if there's the particular tube is the gas,
yeah,
if
mhm.
I'm looking for my shots. So,
Got it for sure. Love
all
it.
right. And let me know when you're ready.
I'm more than ready.
All right. Let's make sure. Let's see if this works.
Despair. Oh, the
Oh.
opposite of despair.
Oh
So what's
wow!
real quick,
That's
the
an interesting roll.
perception test for Atmos was 2 successes and 2 threats, if for people listening at home. But
I
what you
did
get
say
for
that.
your result? Oh, perfect. For
I
your
got
result, Vans.
2 failures, 2 advantage, and a triumph.
Yeah. So the failures mean you don't get a great lay of the land in terms of, who's in charge and the different factions necessarily. Like that's a failure. But you have 2 advantage, so you get something useful out of this. Maybe not everything you wanted. And you do get a triumph, which means you get something definitely useful that's not directly related. So what are you thinking here?
I'm thinking the advantage seeing one of the high rollers. Not sure
Mhm.
what faction, but there's
Sure.
definitely someone who's connected to one of the fighters. And then the triumph is I know exactly where to shoot and what I need to either bring the place down, cover my exits. So whatever I need to do to make a big disturbance or a big boom, I found it.
Now, I like that. Let me pitch something for the triumph. So for
Okay.
the advantage, you're saying you see like you see a high roller who
Yeah.
you're like eyeing like they're gonna be good to talk to. For the triumph, what if we have like let me think here. How do I word? What if we say there's like a jacket that's been with blaster marks on it that has the black sun symbol on it, and just spray painted above it is pig. And his
Oh,
How was
yes.
that for a triumph?
I like
Yes.
that triumph that
Yeah.
I found someone like
You
that.
you no yeah, you
Or
notice very much so that this organization seems to be not very pro Black Sun.
okay. I will duly note that, and eventually Vans is going to make his way over to Zale and share this wonderful information as she's making her rounds in the room.
Love it. So, Zale,
Yeah.
let's go with you. So I was imagining a charm
Oh.
roll in terms of
Yeah.
trying to like speak to people, shake hands, talk
That's
about the bumpy
entirely
flight
what
in.
I'm doing, and if that seems to be getting commiseration with anyone, I'm sort of not going to go outright in on the saying it, but sort of the implication of just all this dissatisfaction that we are taking all the risks getting stuff in here, and the casinos are getting all the credits for it. And what are we doing? We're just losing our paychecks down here.
Perfect. They took our gerbs. So why don't you roll me a charm roll? It's just gonna be two purple dice in there against you.
All right, let me find my charm and I have no idea how what.
That was a wash.
So
Oh,
that's
it's
That
a
was a
wash.
wash.
It's a wash with 2 dark side pips.
Now, does that dark side mean anything?
Yes, it does.
What does that mean?
Really?
It means well, I got the influence upgrade. I get to roll my force die when I'm making social checks and potentially add things. They're dark side pips. That means I'd have to flip a destiny point and take 2 strain if I wanted to use them.
If you use it, then you would get some successes for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. So that's up to you. Either you're gonna get like mired in talking to just like a blabbermouth who just keeps you there and doesn't give you information, or you're going to be using Destiny Point to find someone actually useful.
I'm gonna do it.
Alrighty.
Hand me over that Destiny Point back. Take 2 strain, and you start talking to this like you know the spacer, right? And they're like, oh, those casinos, yeah. And then eventually you realize this is not going anywhere. Great, as gracefully as you can, kind of bow out of the conversation, and you kind of like bump into a waiter, and they kind of like like I don't know good Star Wars curses, but they Star Wars curse at you.
Criff, Carabas, Splash, stuff like that.
Yeah, just like, where you going?
Sorry, didn't mean
then,
anything by it.
And you see a what appears to be like a more merchant type individual. They look like they're mostly keeping an eye on the betting board. Like comes up to you and is like, are you all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine.
Oh.
Just had a bad day.
Well, nothing a drink can't solve. Come on over.
Really? That's what I like to hear. And
So-
Zale's gonna come on over.
So what brings you to Gwen?
The usual. Bringing things in and not getting nearly enough for it. And nearly cracking the ship open on somebody else's ship because apparently no one decided to put out some kind of, I don't know, turbulence warning, but that's all I'm hearing. Bumpy
Griff.
ride in
Griff.
here.
And just as a note for the audience at home, using the force points, to my understanding at least, Zale was able to turn those dark side points into 2 light side points, which she
No.
right? Or
No, it
use
just
the dark
lets me
side
use, yeah.
right.
But Zale is
And
doing this in a kind of dubious way.
but mechanically that turned
Yeah.
2 of those failures into 2 successes, correct?
Yes, it added 2 successes to my roll.
Cool. So we ended the pool with 2 successes, so that's what's going on right now. Yeah. Our pilot said there was listen, pilots make excuses a lot when things go wrong, but they made a lot of them this time. But honestly, it wasn't too bad. I had a friend whose ship crashed into another one coming into Nar Shaddaa, so count myself lucky.
Yeah. Guess things are worse out there. You hear things, you know?
Oh
But
yeah. I mean, I think there's been a minor crash here, but nothing that bad.
of course, no one's really trying to look too hard at the why. I mean, hyperspace doesn't just up and start burbling for no reason. Something's gotta there's gotta be some way to at least warn people.
Huh. I
Be,
mean,
get
think
people
someone's
careful in.
mucking with the beacons and stuff?
Yeah. I
Huh.
mean, don't know who would do it, but
You have to be really, really stupid to do that.
I know, right? But someone thinks it's
Huh. Well, just
and
like downs a drink. Guess I won't be doing a shipment to Nar Shaddaa for a bit. It's a blows. It's a profitable plan to go to.
and I'm uh sorry, in real life I'm a bit sick, so I'm a bit out of it, so I'm not
Oh, good.
doing great at it. But basically what Zale's doing here is she's kind of trying to get him to empathize with her grousing
Yeah.
and maybe uh, get the idea out there of something's up
Yeah.
and someone should be doing something about it.
Yeah, I'll say you definitely plant that. You kind of like, isn't it weird? Isn't like what a coincidence, right? And basically you kind of leave the table with him kind of like after a few drinks especially nodding his head like, "Yeah, there's something weird." So you four kind of all I don't know if you want to meet back up, but that's what kind of happened when you first came in. So what's everyone's next move here?
I know Vans was coming to talk to me.
Hmm.
And eventually, Vance is like, Zale,
Yes?
over there. They're not
Hmm?
fans of the Black Sun. They like target practice as much as I do.
Haha.
And
Excellent.
as I point over to the jacket, I'm like, I think there's some friends here that we can find.
Well, I do love making friends.
I go see how Bishop is. If you want
I'll
to,
follow.
well,
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah, I'm thinking that Atmos is at least still watching the fights. He's got kind of like his arm pressed up against the cage, kind of just watching intently about what's happening. Before he sees Vans and Zale come up, before he kind of just turns around and leans back and goes, Anna news.
Well, let's just say that no one likes anyone who might be screwing with the beacons.
And that's good to hear. We might not even need Bishop to fight now.
disappointed, Bishop.
A bit. It's not often I get to just let out without consequence.
At most, we need to let Bishop play.
Very well. We'll stick with the original plan then.
But there's
Although-
Black Sun haters here, so we could try to find them.
That's true. I'll go.
Where did Vans see it?
Over like so basically there's a high roller table and then there's we'll say there's basically two different high roller tables that Vans both kind of picked
Mhm.
out, and one of them is just seems to be rich people, and the other one has the black sun. Like, we hate you symbology.
If one of the high roller tables is displaying that kind of decoration, then the people who are in charge of this place probably agree at least a bit.
Have you been able to determine who's in charge? No? Very well then. I'll do some digging.
I mean, as a reminder, Amos, you saw the Duros who ordered the Vornskir out.
Yeah, but he's just in charge of the fights. I'm looking for the actual gang leader of the Vornskiers.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So could I actually make a streetwise check for that to kind of maybe
Yeah.
he's got like a private booth somewhere that I can find by like where the guards are.
Yeah, I'll say that'll be 3 purple dice against you.
Alrighty.
It's a pretty crowded place.
I will make that check then, unless anybody would like to assist me.
I'll help you look around.
Alrighty. What's your cunning?
Oh, this is a streetwise. Well, right. Sorry.
Mhm.
My brain is not on top of things. I
You're good.
have for streetwise a cunning of 3 and a streetwise of 2.
I've got a streetwise of 2 and a cunning of 2. So I suppose this would actually be your check with the blue die.
All right.
I'm ready when y'all are.
I will clear my dice pool, add a blue die, and where's streetwise down here?
Yeah, it's toward the bottom.
There.
All
Ooh,
right.
boy.
Oh, 3 successes, a threat, and a triumph.
All right. So I'm gonna just tell you that that Duros is definitely actually the one in charge.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the person running the fighting pit. This clubhouse, this hideout is basically one big fighting pit. So that's your successes. I'll just give you a strain for the threat as you're. I mean, this is a crowded place full of armed people. Like, people are very openly carrying weapons around here. If
All right.
something goes south here, there's gonna be like dozens of people with blasters out.
Mhm.
You have an idea what you want for that triumph?
I have an idea.
I also have an idea. You go first.
All right. Just as we've seen them, they've seen us, and they are very much interested in getting Bishop to fight. Did you have the same idea?
Io?
The idea I was having is that that I was very correct. The decorative thing there had some of the gang was at that table or some such, but I like yours better.
Yeah, so
Alright.
you I'll say Zale and Amos, you kind of clock this Duros, and you see them like now as you observe them a little more, you see them like giving orders and like saying things to different guards and them spreading out. And at one point, you even see them just like yell over at the basic like the teller who's taking care of all the bets, and they immediately switch a board out. And
Mhm.
then you see them kind of like you three make eye contact, and they just kind of like motion, give you like a come on over.
All right.
Atmos is going to turn to Bishop and motion for him to come along with us.
Yeah. Bishop would follow along.
All right.
You coming along too, Vince, or are you gonna stick behind?
I'll come. This is
All
going
right.
to get very interesting.
Yeah.
Zale, I'm feeling
Hmm?
gambly.
Me too.
So
Me as
yeah,
well.
you walk up to like this boss's booth. There's about 3 guards that just seem to be, like standard. They've got like vibro-axes and pistols just out and about. You do see this Duros, and then there seem to have like a Gamorrean, which is the big pig guy from episode 6,
Mhm.
sitting right next to him. There's a few more like guards and a few more Gamorreans out and about as well, but just kind of just motion to the table in front of them. What's the drink of choice here?
I'm feeling a little festive. I'll take a fuzzy bantha.
Ah, perfect. Please sit. Ah, it's a pleasure to have you all. I haven't seen you here before. I don't believe.
No, we just got in.
Well, it is a pleasure. Don Luzai is the name.
How do you
Sale.
spell that?
DONLU space ZAI. Don Luzai.
All right.
We figured this was the place for our friend here to work out some of his aggressions.
This is certainly the place to do that kind of thing. What is your name, my very armored friend?
It's Bishop.
Bishop. You know, Bishop, I've gotten this far partially because I have a good eye for talent, and I think that you would make a very interesting fighter in my pit. Is that something you'd be interested in?
That's why we're here.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right then. Now, forgive me if I would be so bold. I feel like you have more to talk to me about than fighting. But first, the fun stuff. So, and he kind of pats the Gamorrean next to him on the back. I think you and my big friend over here are going to have a great tussle in my pit. You feel free to bet however you like, but I know where my money is on. And then afterwards, we could talk more business. How's that all sound to you?
Sounds perfect to me. I'm very much looking forward to placing some bets.
As am I.
Me
As
too.
am I. And you see he yeah, like just he actually just takes out a data pad and has it passed over to the kind of the kind of teller person, and you see all of the like scheduled fights just like all move down, and oof, a new fight showing this a shot that someone must have gotten like a picture of Bishop in the bar, and then this Gamorrean kind of up in blazoned in like obviously there's like new graphics for like a title fight. This is like very clearly being hyped up, and you see people just start swarming to bet. I'll say
I'm going
they're
to bet.
Me too.
perfect. I'm gonna say that people are giving the Gamorrean 2-1 odds on Bishop
All right.
currently.
So I currently have 380 credits, and I'm going to bet 200 of them on
All right.
Bishop.
I
Yeah,
have
y'all take-
415 credits, and I'm also going to bet 200.
Okay.
I'm
Vance?
gonna bet 100 credits on Bishop.
All right.
And before
Bishop, are you gonna? Oh,
Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Bishop.
Oh no, I was saying you go ahead and finish what you were saying. I kind of interrupted you there.
I was gonna say before Bishop leaves, Vens goes, "Now Bishop, like always, please have some fun. Toy if you need to, but have some fun."
Yeah, of course, fun.
Take him out. I know you
I'd
can.
say good luck, but I doubt you need it.
So I'm looking here, and I got to figure out if this is an accurate number, but it shows 480 for credits for me.
I mean,
Does
sounds
that
about
sound
right.
pretty accurate?
Mhm.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if y'all have more than I do. When Zale started the game, they were flat broke.
I was
Right.
They
almost.
had no credits left.
Oh, you should have about 480. Yeah.
Okay. So obviously, I'm going to put it all on me.
Sounds all of your credits.
Ooh.
Alrighty. I'm excited. So, yeah, you two after like betting goes on, a large amount of credits is on the table. you both get kind of there's like the two little lifts that both descend down, and there's just like a little hallway. So we're gonna roll initiative here. So this one should be vigilance is what when you're prepared. I mean, they're both expecting a fight, so vigilance
Cool.
should be or
That's
cool.
Cool. That makes it
Yes.
cool.
Ha, ha,
Vigilance
ha.
is when you aren't.
unfortunate.
Yes. So cool is going to be the name of the game here. So they are not good at cool. So go ahead and roll your. All right.
I'm
so
also not good at cool.
well, this Gamorrean's slightly cooler than you apparently.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
they are just going to spend their maneuver to just run up, engage with you, pull out an just at the start of the fight. They're gonna test out the waters. They're just gonna try and just slug you right in the face. This like
Okay.
again like this like big hulking pig man. So it's gonna be 2 difficulty dice, and then they're gonna roll their 2 yellows and a green. So they get a failure and 2 advantage. So you see they
Ooh.
run up and attempt to just slug you in the face with this like their meaty green fist, and you manage to basically dodge out of the way. But I'm gonna give you a black die on your next attack as they move faster than you were expecting this like large hulking like pig person to move, so you're kind of thrown off your game for a second there as they kind of just try to wallop you. So it's now your go, Bishop.
Okay. If I wanted to do something, it would actually turn into activating something. Is that going to be part of a maneuver or a action, or how does that
I don't
work?
What are you
Okay,
activating?
so I've got this cloak,
Okay.
but it says technically you're supposed to touch the clasp to activate it.
Okay.
I would count that as a maneuver.
Yeah. I'll say turning that on is a maneuver.
Okay. So does that leave me then still able to?
So
To
remember, you can still you still have your action, so you can still attack, and you can take more strain to take a second maneuver
Okay, no, I think I just attack.
if you really need to. Yeah. So it's going to be a black die and 2 purple dice because you're in melee, so that's 2 purple dice always, and then a setback die because they kind of caught you off guard. So, what are you using to attack?
Okay, I think the standard like punch attack is gonna be
Okay.
included in the brass knuckles, because I feel like that would kind of be
Mhm.
flavored to be part of a gauntlet or something.
Yeah.
Um,
Go
so
ahead
that's
and
what I'm gonna go.
go ahead. All right, so that's a success and an advantage. So you're going to deal 5 damage to them because you deal 3 plus 1 for the brass knuckles and an additional 1 for the success.
Okay.
That's going to ignore 1 of their soak because of the pierce 1. So I will write down some damage. All right. So that was 5. So cool. So then also disorient 3, if I
Is
remember
one
correctly.
advantage enough to activate disorient?
No, generally, you need 2 advantage to activate a quality, like knockdown.
Yeah.
Understood. So with the advantage, you could basically either give yourself a boost next because you're the only PC coming up next, or could you? I think you could give him a setback, right?
Yeah, that's one of the things you can do with an advantage.
Yeah. So either you could give yourself a boost or give him a setback. What would you prefer?
I'll take the boost.
Sounds good. So you've kept it as a fist fight, so they're just gonna honor that for now. A very honorable pig. Just try and slug you this time again. Oof.
Ooh.
So that's going to be 3 successes and 2 advantage. So you're going to take since it's just a slug, it's 7 total because they got, or sorry, 6 total because they have 3 brawn. So 6 damage minus your soak. They don't have any
And that goes to wounds.
pierce. Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
then
that'll be 2.
Mhm. And then I'm gonna say for the 2 advantage, gonna give you a setback die again. As kind of get you kind of get a ringing in your head for a second as they slug you. And it's gonna,
And you said that was a brawl attack?
yeah. So that was them just slugging you and hitting you.
Okay, cool. I think that this is reactionary.
Okay.
It says if the wielder is hit by a melee or brawl attack, the attacker takes 7 stun damage.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Wow. Okay. Nice. So what does that look like?
Stun damage goes to strain.
But they're not a
Yeah,
nemesis, so that goes to their
Oh,
wounds.
that just goes in. Yep.
So what does that look like?
So I think what would happen is kind of Batman-esque. As he goes to throw a punch, he just kind of throws a shoulder over with the cloak on it, and that activates the shimmery cloak, kind of lights up with electricity and zaps him.
Yeah, so you see this Gamorrean just go and slam its fist into Bishop, but it catches the cloak first, and just this massive bolt of electricity just shoots up their arm, and they kind of shake for a second and then shake off. But they look very hurt. They were not expecting that massive shock, because that just goes. Now, remind me, and I mean, remind the audience at home. So, as a rival or minion, when they take strain, it just goes to their wounds instead because they don't have a strain threshold. When that happens, they don't get to use their soak, correct?
I
They still get to
believe-
use their soak.
Okay, so
stun
they're
damage, so
Sounds
gets
good.
soaked. Yeah.
so they do get their soak, but still they are much less cocky than they were just a moment ago. So we're back to you, Bishop. So
Right.
what are you doing?
I mean, I guess at this point I'm not doing too bad with the punches, so we're going to continue with that.
All right. So you have a boost that you should put in yourself, and I have your setback and your 2 difficulty dice.
All right.
So whenever you're ready.
Boop.
All right. So that's 2 successes and an advantage. So you're going to deal 6 damage this time.
Ooh.
So with 1 less soak than normal. Oh boy. All right. And then with the advantage, what do you want to do? You again have those 2 options here.
I think we'll give him a setback this time.
All right.
That seems reasonable
good.
given everything that's happened.
Yeah, you see they're still kind of shaking, and you take the opportunity
Keep
kind of like
the momentum going.
yeah, you just like kind of uppercut them, and they're a big meaty, person, but you still manage to kind of just like uppercut them and kind of still rolling. You keep the like disorientation going. So they're at this point done with small little weapons. They're gonna pull out their axe, their vibro axe.
Vans was
So-
like yelling for Bishop going from that hip. All charged up.
Nice. So it's the same amount of dice, but I'm gonna use a destiny pool to upgrade their attack here. Just because they're very hurt, and they can't take too much more damage, so they're kind of starting to go a little desperate here.
What are
So
the rules of the pit?
There are no rules of the
None.
pit.
there's literal 0 rules.
Van
Which
is
is one at
contemplating
most.
shooting the axe.
I think the rule of the pit is
yes, that
don't
might
annoy our
Yeah,
friend.
suddenly Van was thinking he was going to shoot the axe out to make it a fair fight. And
yeah,
then
that
went,
could
"No."
definitely be an interesting move,
Yeah,
but
I think the rule is you
Yep.
have to be in the pit.
Yeah, okay.
Depends on what happens, but yes. All right, so I'm gonna make a roll. They have a setback die. Oof. So
Ouch.
that's gonna be 3 successes and an advantage. So you are going to take, with the 3 bonus, 9 damage. But you get all your soak because they don't have a bunch of. Sorry, they ignore 2 of your soak.
Okay. Doop doop. Okay. So yeah, that's not
And-
ideal.
They're basically trying to steal momentum back, so they're gonna give themselves a boost on their next roll.
Right. Now,
As they basically they kind of yes. What's up?
sorry, here's my question. Would
Mhm.
you consider this axe attack to be either melee or brawl?
It definitely is
Axe
melee.
attack is melee.
Yeah.
Okay. So then they would hit that cloak again.
All right.
Oh, it's not a one per encounter.
No, it technically has 3 charges, then it needs to charge back up for 3 minutes.
Understood. Yeah. Then
Wow.
they
Yeah.
are very injured. Probably could not do that again.
Yeah. So I imagine the same sort of thing. This one kind of thunks in, but I think there would probably some
A
connection with that.
solid hit as they kind of like chink into your cybernetic armor, but they're also taking a heavy hit. So I don't know if you can really take another one of those hits, but they're also on they're not doing too great anymore. So go ahead, you're back to you.
Yeah.
Come on, Bishop.
No, I Bishop really couldn't take another hit. So I think he'd grunt out and be like, "Ugh, you're not going to like this. And I'm going to use this repulsor fist.
I love it. So
Nice.
it's just 2 difficulty dice. So
Yep. Okay. I'm making sure I didn't have anything else on. Oh.
oh no. All right. So that's a failure and a
He
success.
forgot his boost.
No, he used
No, I
the
used the setback.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
setback
Yeah.
for the last one.
Yeah. So you do have an advantage, but you say your cool one-liner, and then as so often happens in role-playing games, you then just barely miss. Do you want to set back them or boost yourself?
Yeah, I think we're going to set back them again.
Yeah, sounds good because they also have a
Take
boost.
some maneuver. I think you can take maneuvers to be more defensive in combat. You might.
Yes, that's one of the things you can do.
Yeah, I'll say if you would like to also, you can take a maneuver to kind of take a more defensive stance and get another setback on them.
I think that's actually what it's called, defensive stance.
Oh,
Cool.
sure. Yeah.
Look at me. I mean, I know it's called defensive stance. This is my first time running this system.
Okay.
So what alterations do I need to make on my end for that?
You don't need to make any. It just adds a black dice to them attacking you.
Yeah, so basically it's your maneuver, right? So remember, like you get an action, you maneuver. So you basically
okay. Right.
can use your maneuver to give them a setback die.
Right. So it's
on
not
their
an
next
additional. Gotcha. Okay.
It is.
It
So they're
gives
now.
it gives you a setback die to combat checks, but till the end of your next turn. But it increases your melee defense.
Okay. All right.
Which gives them a setback dice.
Yep.
So they'll have
So now
2.
basically, yes. So now they're rolling. There are 2 green and 1 green and 2 yellow against 2 black and 2 purple. 1 for the advantage and 1 for the maneuver. So they're going to.
Can we
Shake their head.
spend a destiny point to make their check harder here?
You certainly can. if
Because
you
I
all
think
want to.
we should do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead and spend that destiny point, and I'll upgrade the difficulty of their check. So I'm now gonna roll as they try and shake through all this like electrical static and just terrible stuff, and they just whiff
That
it
is
so
a
hard.
bad whiff.
Wow.
They slam into your cloak. How does your like electricity cloak and all that take this Gamorrean? How do you take this Gamorrean down? They're out of the fight.
Okay. So
You have full control on the narrative for here.
all right. So then we might tweak, I guess, how this should work very slightly.
Yeah, no, please.
In that during this big final swing that he's throwing out, Bishop would kind of lean down and shoulder in a bit
Yeah.
and kind of self-activate the cloak, I guess, as a result. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I'm imagining. Like, because you went into this defensive stance, so you do the classic fighting movie move of like motioning them forward,
Right.
and they start bull rushing you with this axe, and you just dip underneath them and get your like full back underneath them and push up and basically flip them on their back and land on top of them, and then your cloak just bursts out with electrical energy. So you basically just flipped this Gamorrean onto their back and then just electrocuted them, and they are out. You have won this fight. There's a "Wah!" Just like a massive uproar from the crowd. You see the Duros is like giving a standing ovation. Everyone who placed their bets gets double their credits back because there was 2-1
Nice.
odds.
So everybody who bet 200 gets 400.
Yeah. So yeah, that you have won the fight.
Okay. Bishop's gonna kind of find a good space to hang out and recharge a bit.
Yeah.
I bring Bishop a drink.
Oh, you better hope it's water,
It's both.
right?
And you see the Duros Don Luzai actually comes up to you, Bishop, with there is like some alcohol, but you see sitting on there is actually a stim pack as well.
Nice.
Kind of like claps you on the shoulder. That was as good as I could have hoped for. Please, all of you, my new friends, come and sit with
Gladly.
All right. Well, that was one of the most exciting fights I've seen in a long time. Honestly, glad you kind of put them back on their level. They were, not gonna lie, kind of starting to ask for a raise. Thought they were bigger stuff than they really are. So I'm glad you put them in their place, and I'm glad you gave me a very good fight. So, what can I do for my new friends?
Well, we're putting together a bit of a job. And we were thinking the Vonskis might be interested in joining us.
Or that you might at least know some fighters who would be.
Well, I know pretty much every fighter on this station, so I definitely can help you there. What kind of well, I know you all just made a good amount of money, so I think if you tell me what kind of job you're thinking, I think I can very much help you out.
We know you hold no love for the Black Sun. And we very much suspect that the Black Sun may be behind some of the particular accidents that have been going on involving hyperspace. We've tracked Black Sun to a particular, we'll call them investor, in the, what was the name of the casino again?
Royal K.
Okay.
In the Royal K. So, we're gonna go kidnap him, and maybe, just maybe, get a good amount of credits in the process.
And figure out how to maybe smooth out everyone's rides a little bit more.
Well, you are hiring people to break into the Royal K. You know how to show me a good time, don't you? You do realize, like, bring his voice down a little. You do realize that is the place, probably one of the most secure places on the station. Yeah.
We are
What
well
can I
aware.
say? We're ambitious.
That I can tell. That I can tell. I like that about you all. Well, if you're all coming to me trying to get at the Royal K, I'm assuming you have some amount of plan or some amount of plan for what you need from me.
Oh, certainly. We need muscle is the main thing we need, but anything you'd be willing to contribute outside of that would be greatly appreciated.
Well, muscle aplenty I do have.
And we know how to get into and to deal with their security system. Out of character, that was the triumph we got on that perception roll. I think
Yes,
we figured
you
out
do
where
have-
it was. So, yeah.
You
So
have
we
a way
can-
inside. You don't
Mhm.
necessarily have a way like to the top floor yet, but you have the way inside the casino. Like you can get yourselves in the casino for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, we know how to deactivate the security system.
And I think I can make some other problems that they'll find pressing as well.
Now, tell me, was one of the bouncers at the front a Wookiee?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the bouncers were an Ithorian and a Wookiee, just as a
Yep.
reminder.
Very big.
Yes, two very large. Yeah, so how about these? There's not going to be very many people outside the Royal that will let you do whatever you're going to do to let yourselves in. Now, the Ithorian who works there and the other people that work there, I don't. We can knock them out, do whatever. Get them out of your hair. Crust used to be one of mine until they kind of got poached, so to speak, and work for the Royal K now. So I think I could very easily find some motivated individuals to show people what happens when you skip out on the Vorskiers.
That would
So
be
if
mighty
you need
appreciated.
if you need anything more than getting into the front door, we might need to talk price, but I think making an example of my former friend is payment enough for now.
I very much concur, and we will, of course, be back if that should be needed. But for now, I thank you very much for the incredible show, and of course, the delightful company.
Well, say the same to you folks. Do not be strangers, all right? I want to points at Bishop. I want to see you back here again sometime, all right?
As long as you've got the bodies and the money.
Wow, I have almost no limit to those. Would you learn to fight like that, by the way? Most people don't get that good without some kind of training.
Let's just say it comes naturally.
Keep your secrets, Mr. Bishop, but I'll get it out of you yet. Well, you all have a big day you're planning, so let us know when things are going to be happening. And again, if you need more than getting in that front door, we'll have to talk some prices, but I'm more than willing to do so.
We'll be in touch.
Glad to hear it. You know where to find me.
We do.
All right.
Alrighty. So as soon as we're out of the front door, Atmos is going to turn to Zale. Now, what do you suppose is the best for our next move? Do you think we should go check out the steady drips? Or should we go and speak to the engineers?
I'd be careful of the station administration. We might trip over someone who has the Black Sun's interests at heart rather than ours. Or the Black Sun's wallets at heart, at least. And well, the steady drips are smugglers. They might have an idea of who in the administration might be willing
Receptive.
to listen for a few credits.
That is actually a very good point. Steady drips it is then.
All right. So you all reach out to your other contacts, and they kind of lead you through to a pretty distant. They seem to keep a respectable distance between themselves and the Vornskiers. Just like, yes.
Real
Okay.
quick, Vans is going to be watching any security cameras, seeing if they're following the group in the
Mhm.
areas, and just very keeping an eye out for anything.
Yeah, here on the second floor, they don't seem to really be following you guys, like they were on the first floor where all the casinos and everything are. That doesn't mean to say they don't see you, but no one
Yeah.
seems to be. They don't seem to be following you, at least on the second floor. So, yeah, you all get led to like a cantina. It actually has no like sign, like there's no name of the cantina. It just is like a building that very clearly is a bar, not really flashy or anything. And there's just like a bouncer in kind of like a, not like a porcelain, but just kind of like a whitish, like it's faded and got like some decorations on it, but just like a white mask on. And the person that you guys had talked to get you in kind of like put your name, get your names on the list, and the bouncer kind of like opens up the rope and just motions you all in. And as you all walk in, you're all handed a mask of similar material.
Hmm.
Does it fit over
Yeah.
my current mask?
They have, this is this is a group that accommodates people of all species. So yes, they have masks that can fit over
Okay.
varying different
Hey, also, while we're at a small
stuff.
impasse,
Mhm.
during some period of this time, Bishop would have utilized that stim pack.
I figured. So
Yeah.
you heal 5 of your wounds back.
I just wanted to make it known in the audio space.
Yes.
Yeah.
For those at home.
Yeah.
Perfect. So
Yeah. So Amos is gonna put on his mask. Are each of them unique, or do
yes,
they all look the
so
same?
they are all unique. You can all tell pretty quickly that the one unifying symbol is that all of them have like one kind of yellow diagonal line that's kind of like at the temple. And you can, as you look around, you do see there are varying numbers of marks of different shapes and number. So that seems to be the kind of ranking signals, although you don't necessarily have any context for what means what. So you all walk in to this cantina. There's like, there's like some of them have like animalistic patterns, some of them just have like decorations. There's just a wide variety. But this is like a very kind of just relaxed, it's almost like a smoking lounge, right? It
Mhm.
has just smooth music being played throughout, and you see there's just a large number of people sitting at tables, some of them rolling dice, but nothing like, nobody's like yelling at the end of it, just like, very calmly playing. Just seems to be people like sitting, enjoying a drink or a smoke, just speaking to one another. It's pretty like a low murmur tones throughout. Of
Atmos's
like
mask looks like a tuka.
perfect, just like whiplash from where you just were.
Nice and peaceful. Calm before the storm, you think?
Not sure. These are smugglers. Well, I'm gonna get a drink. As Atmos usually does. It's like the first thing he does.
Yeah, the through line, yes.
Mhm.
So yeah, what's everyone's approach coming into this cantina, I suppose?
How are people drinking in these masks, by the way? Are they half
There's
masks? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a like a variety. Like some of them like have just the face. Some of them have the face and then come down. There's like a whole section open. Some of them have like holes and people are using straws. There's a wide variety. Most of them are like half masks where they just kind of cover most of the face.
Yep.
Do I see many people with our one yellow marking thing?
That sounds like a great use of the perception skill. So let me clear my dice pool because I was rolling as a Gamorrean. So I'll put 2 purple dice as you try to like. Is anybody else trying to find patterns of the markings on the masks, or are people
I
doing
suppose
other?
Atmos would, yeah.
Okay.
What's your perception?
Hold on, let me find this a bit. I have 1 and 1.
I have a cunning of 3, but no ranked perception.
All right, so then you get 1 rank.
All right.
Okay. Well, and then real quick, just so I know, what are Vans and Bishop up to in this like much more relaxed vibe?
Vans is getting a drink, but just looking at the crowd, trying to see threats, trying to see people, and just more outfits, weapons, that type of stuff, and any gambling type situation. I mean, major like
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yep.
And then Bishop.
Bishop, for lack of many more words, is just kind of cleaning up after the fight.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Dusting
All right.
off, maybe tweaking his fist a bit.
So let's get the perception check from the pair here, from Zale and Atmos. I got my 2 difficulty dice in, so whenever you're ready.
lost Io or lost Zale.
Yeah, I'll are you. Okay, there we go.
Oh, okay.
So
Io, you're muted.
so
Oh, sorry. I
There you
forgot
go.
I was muted.
so you should have actually
2
had
successes.
one of those green be a yellow from Atmos's help, I believe, yeah?
Oh, that's weird. My dice pool cleared itself.
So why don't here, I'll clear out my dice pool. Just roll 1 yellow die
Okay.
and we'll replace. All right, so we'll just add in an extra advantage. So we'll make the final
Okay.
pool 2 successes and an advantage.
Nice.
So yeah, you look around, you definitely see that the more high rolling, more VIP sections seem to have there's a wide variety of shapes, and those appear most people are sitting with similar shapes to each other. However, the kind of higher class or higher exclusivity, the more markings there seem to be. So I will tell you, with 2 success and advantage, it seems like there's something to do with the shape of it that's not necessarily entirely readily apparent, but that the more markings you have, the higher ranking you are in this
So
organization,
do
or
I spot
in higher
any with...
regard.
Sorry, I started
No,
talking
you're good.
poorly.
You're
Do
good.
I see any with the same kind of marking as we've got?
Yes, for sure. And I'll say one of them kind of motions you over with that.
All right. I'm going to head over.
And then real quick, Vans, you were also going to be making a perception check to try and find like gambling and stuff. So I've got 2 difficulty dice in there. Actually, no, this is just gonna be 1 difficulty die. It's not gonna be very hard.
Just kind of seeing what type of presence of people that are there. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're ready, I'm ready.
I sure am. Okay, 3 advantage. In the Royal K Casino, Driel's Odd falls prone. No,
Yes.
so you're looking around, and it's hard to tell, dude, with all the masks and like how clandestine, like just kind of banal and also clandestine everything is. You can tell it's hard to tell what is what. You definitely see gambling tables. Um, do you have an idea what kind of advantage you want to gain? Like, you haven't really found a table you for what you're looking for, but you certainly found something useful.
Yeah, I'm more or less kind of just surveying the tables, the people, finding out who might have a few extra credits and or who's intoxicated.
Okay, so I'll say you can't really find the tables that might be super hot right now, but you do see a table with like a lot of intoxicated people.
And I just sit behind it and start observing it and try to find out what the level of casino and security and just keeping an eye out in general.
Sounds good. Bishop, are you just gonna kind of keep watch over this, or are you gonna go join one of the two groups here?
Uh,
You're just gonna take some you time? I don't know.
yeah, you know what? I think that is what would happen. Yeah, he's kind of
Okay.
just focused on cleanup and
Yeah,
resituating himself.
sure. Do you have any strain right now?
I have a bit. I have 2.
I'll allow you to regain those 2 strain as you just kind of like take time while everyone's kind of investigating to kind of relax and regather yourself in this much more like chilled out environment, like all that good stuff. So we'll go to Vans first. So you kind of go up to this, they're not being rowdy. They're very clearly like keeping it quiet, but they're just like laughing amongst each other. Like seems to be a group of friends, all with kind of swirly symbols on them, just like laughing and stuff. And they see you walk over. Hey, you come on over.
Hello. You seem to be
Hey.
doing very well today.
Yeah. Well, it's good. Been gambling so long, we've kind of all come back to where we started almost, except he points over at like another visual. You don't know what you've been doing, but you say I've got a much higher stack of chips than everyone else. Well, what you been up to? So what can we do you for?
Oh, I just come here to look, have a drink.
Yeah, why don't you just roll me a charm roll here to let's see if you get any like useful information out of them as you kind of mingle in with them. I'll say 2 difficulty. No, 1 difficulty because they're intoxicated.
It's not going to be great, but we'll see how this goes.
All right. So 2 charm. I'll say 2 advantage. Sorry. I'll say you learned that the swirly symbol indicates like talk so much that indicates that they're basically spacers. Like they're people that are pilots or working on ships that are doing runs in and out of the station. And through a little more context clues in them talking, I'll say you kind of get the feel for a few other symbols. And I'll say the main one is that there's ones that look kind of like droplets. Those are people who are members of the actual organization.
Okay.
So you just kind of get some useful information about the masks, but other than that, you
Yep.
yeah.
I just being social, having a drink, just
Yeah.
listening more.
Speaking of being social, Zale and Vans, you see another person with like 1 solid stripe on their mask motioned you guys over.
Is it also yellow or?
Yes.
Okay.
All the markings are yellow.
Oh.
They're just
Okay.
different amounts and shapes. Hey, how's it going?
It's been a good night so far, but
Been a very
it can
good night.
always get better.
Yeah, true that. I saw by the mask, you must be one of your first times here. It's my second time in here, that's why they gave me one of these. So figure I might take some pity on you. Yeah, is this your first time?
It's our first time, yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't been around here very long.
No, but we got tipped out that this is a good place to be.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure. So, you just here to enjoy it and like, puts in like a hookah
Mm-hmm.
and just holds it, like indicates to y'all. You just enjoy I mean, it's pretty good stuff here.
I'm here about business, actually.
Oh, all right, Mr. Businessman here.
My
He's
friend here
right.
can tell you how serious I am about my business.
It's true, he is.
Well, I'll be sure to go in before you then. Well, what kind of business you got here?
Well, we've been encountering some difficulties, so we were hoping to speak to an expert on them.
What kind of stuff you thinking about here? That's a pretty broad, I feel like.
Hyperspace difficulties. You know the rumors.
Whoa.
Here there are a lot of pilots around here.
Yeah, you're looking for the curly Q guys.
You mean like those ones over there? And I'm gonna point over at where Vans is sitting.
Yeah. Yeah, them's regulars, I think.
That might be a nice place to have a chat.
Far out.
I'd love to stay and chat with you, but I do need to keep an eye on Mr. Businessman here.
Why don't I'll take a charm roll from you guys just to see if they're gonna stop you with another little nugget of
I
information
do
here.
not have a good charm.
That's okay, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just got 2 greens in charm.
Okay, I will get a boost die then.
Yep. Take
Mhm.
that boost die.
And you ready?
Mhm.
All right, rolling my
Oh,
charm.
that's
Okay,
very good.
that's 3 advantage and 2 light side pips, and normally that would be a failure with advantage, but I can spend those 2 light side pips no trouble. Apparently Zale is feeling a bit calmer now that they're out of all the chaos, and so they're going to add a success, and I believe the pips can add both successes and advantage, so I'm going to add 1 success and 1 more advantage.
So, all right, so it brings the final total to 1 success and 4 advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So you see they kind of like are nodding and they're like, "Well, before you go, if you're looking for like leans in but does not lower their voice, steady drips, one of their higher ups is going to be Maxwell, going to look for probably it's gonna be like 5 of them drippy drops in a kind of like an X kind of fashion. Maxwell Trent. Uh, and hey, if you ever looking for maybe a few, I mean, this is pretty safe, but the whole station's not too much. So you looking to buy some blasters as such? I can sometimes help you out. If you looking to buy anything like that, just find me. The name is Dilgist.
It's been a pleasure then, and I hope we can do some business.
Me too, man. Me too. Hey, take it easy, Mr. Business. Loosen up, all right?
Can I do a streetwise check to find out what he's smoking?
Yeah, sounds good.
I want to know how out of it he is.
Mhm.
I don't know what he's smoking, but I kind of feel like he's had too much of it.
Go
Mhm.
ahead. Go ahead and roll your streetwise check.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be too hard. It's just 1 difficulty.
Yeah, that's a success and a threat.
Yeah. Yeah, he's had way too much of it. It's nothing too strong, but he's
Oh, so
maybe.
he's not on like death sticks or anything, but he is out of it.
Yeah, for sure. He might not remember you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You gather.
Alrighty. How do you spell his name?
Oh, is Dilgust not a Dilgust?
G-U-S-T. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
No worries. All right.
Human druggie
/blaster dealer.
/ blaster dealer.
So yeah, what are you four doing now?
I'm going to head over to the table that Vans is at.
So will I.
Okay.
And I'm assuming I've got one of the half masks, so I'm going to favor them with a winning smile and go, hey, room for one more? Well,
Oh,
two more, but
yeah,
I'm
always.
and basically Zale intends to join the game.
Yeah.
Atmos does as well.
These are my friends. Friends? My new friends.
Hey, we're all friends here. Hey, except and like point back to the guy who's winning. 'Cause I don't know about you anymore, Trennis.
Hey,
You winning too much. Yes.
so we did have a small blip just there.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm not sure what exactly happened or when it cut out for everyone else on the stream, but like everything basically just
Oh.
reset.
Oh,
Ooh.
Okay.
Including the recording?
No, that should be fine.
now that should be fine.
Well, my apologies
All
to
of
everyone.
Zoom dropped. I know that. So
Hmm.
we'll just have to, I guess, if someone in the audience aspect can tell us where. Okay.
Okay, so
Oh,
just caught on
then
after
they didn't
talking
miss
to
much. Looks like.
So
Okay.
yeah, the party has just now headed off back to the table that Vans was at. So yeah, you see Zale starts just talking in the conversation, and we're going to zoom out with the camera there, and we're going to come back into the Royal K Casino. We see Drilzad sitting in a table, impatiently tapping their fingers on it, and there's a figure like in shadow that's kind of looking at a data pad. We can't quite make out their species in their face. And Drilzad kind of smiled and said, I just figured you'd be really interested in seeing your old friend again and maybe figuring out how they have held on to your property. And the data pad the figure is holding just gets flung out, and as it's flung out in a flash of red light, shot with a marksman like aim as we see a data pad with Vans's face and the Halcyon Days just get blasted apart. And that's where we'll end today's session.
Boy.
Thank
Come
you
to
all
Papa.
so much for joining us for Tabletop Galaxy presents Broken Space Halcyon Days. I hope you all enjoy waiting for that cliffhanger. But first, let's hear from our wonderful players. So, Alex, go ahead. Where can we find you coming up and all that good stuff?
Yep. Once again, I'm Alex. You can catch me on Twitter at ShockTheLink, where I tweet about Star Wars stuff, except not this week because I've turned off Twitter to avoid spoilers for Rise of Skywalker. Afterwards, though, you can absolutely catch me there. Also, occasionally, when I can afford it, I paint minis on Instagram at ShockTheLink. I've got some Star Wars Legion minis that I need to start painting here soon, so that should be done before, actually probably after New Year's because it's going to be a busy couple of weeks. Other than that, you can occasionally catch me on 1 in 20 D&D on Sundays when we stream Star Wars: The Old Republic. I haven't been on recently, but you should still definitely check out the stream. Have a lot of people from Tabletop Galaxy like to hang out there, play some Star Wars: The Old Republic. We've got a guild, so if you play Star Wars: The Old Republic and you want in on the guild, be sure to let us know. And that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Wade.
Yeah. All right. So I'm Wade. You'll find me, I guess, along with Alex on occasion, doing the Sunday runs with 1 in 20. You can find Rob and I at NQH Podcast on Twitter. For the Not Quite Heroes, we'll be releasing our next episode, which gets a little interesting, I guess. This
A
Monday
little, a
coming up.
lot.
Yeah, it definitely starts some things. And then you can find me personally between Twitter and Instagram at Not Quite Wade.
Awesome. Jay.
I'm Jay. You can find me at Neophet3. I also GM and do some additional GMing with Legends of the Galaxy and Star Wars. Occasionally doing some streaming with D&D, and have been active with the Jasper's Game Day, located at events throughout the U.S. Also, I will be at a few conventions next year, hosting or running games and attending.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And always last but never least, Io.
I'm EO. Find me at EO on except also not very much right now because I have also banned myself from all social media until I've seen Rise of Skywalker, and I am hyped.
Awesome. And I am, of course, unless you just now tuned in, Robert the GM at Robbie Rollin on Twitter, one half of the GMs for Broken Space. You can find me at Robbie Roll on Twitter, where you can also find out about my weekly stream games every Tuesday, Revenge of the Gith on my friend Valdrina's channel. We are taking an off week next week. And for my bi-weekly game that also involves Niffer Niff from Second Sunrise every other week on Thursdays, that'll be starting back up in January. And just for general shenanigans that are going on in my life from the tabletop role-playing game sphere. For us from Tabletop Galaxy, Second Sunrise has their last session before a little hiatus tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. Yes? Yes. I'm pretty sure. Yes. Okay. Second Sunrise, Tabletop Galaxy presents Broken Space Second Sunrise, has another session coming up tomorrow night starting at 8 p.m. Central, where they will be doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Make sure not to miss it right back here at Tabletop Galaxy. No Table Talk Galaxy tonight this week on Friday, and us here at Halcyon Days will be taking a 2-week hiatus for the holiday season. So our next show will be Tuesday. I should have gotten this open to be sure.
I think it's the
earlier,
7th.
the 7th. Yes. So we will be back January the 7th to continue this wonderful heist that has been going on. But until then, follow us on Twitter and you'll know when we're coming back, and we'll keep talking to y'all. Send in questions for Table Talk Galaxy, and just stay wonderful and have a wonderful holiday season, whatever that means for y'all. So from us to you, thank you all so much for watching, and take it easy. Thank you. Bye.